Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kinetic Impressions Movie News. I'm Arnie.
I'm Andy.
All right, today we're going to talk about Rob Zombie wants to make a Munsters movie. What? What? Okay, cool. Also, we're going to talk about The Matrix 4 because it is happening. It is real. It is forthcoming. And The Matrix was one of the most seminal movies in my childhood, also in the history of cinema. And I just think it'd be cool just to kind of look over the cast list and just talk about what we think is going to happen in this movie. Hope it's good. And then finally, we're going to talk about the wild and ridiculous saga that was MoviePass. I think it's going to be fun because some crazy shit happened. Article came out on Slash Film and detailed some of the most egregious things that company ever did, and I think it's going to be fun to go look over. Today we're going to be talking about Rob Zombie wants to make this man. Okay, first of all, before we talk about this story, which is Rob Zombie wants to make a Monsters movie. Drew, what is your idea of what a Rob Zombie movie would be? I just want to get I know that you really haven't watched any of his movies, but what comes to mind when you see this man?
Man, you found you just typed it in. Okay, I was like, these are some obscure pictures that you found.
Yeah, we got this guy. He looks like a hobo, but then also he looks like a zombie from Land Before, from the the Day of Night series. And then you got this one with him no makeup on.
I'm not call me a wuss. I'm just not a horror guy. I don't watch too much horror. I really like the horror concept of let's make it cheap and let's see how much money we can get out of this fucking bastard. I love that concept of it. And I don't think that's what Rob Zombie came to the market to do. So that's why I don't think we've ever met.
Gotcha. You ever met this guy? This guy right here?
No, I've never met him. I like the gobo, the flame gobo back there. That's that was a cheap trick. That's fun.
No, for sure.
But no,
sure.
I mean, I liked. I don't know, man. What he's done, Grindhouse.
So notably,
Halloween.
So notably, right? Yes. So I will say this about Rob Zombie. I vehemently, and I'll say it to the day I die. I don't know why I want to say this, but it's the truth. And I don't know why I feel this way, but I believe that The Devil's Rejects is one of the top 10 best movies ever made. I don't know how to explain why I feel that way. I think
good things about that movie.
Yeah, it is. It is the perfect horror movie in that it does something horror movies seldom do. It flips the fucking script, and I love flipping the script, bro. I will eat up flipping the script all day long. I am all for it, and it flips really hard in this one, and it's so good. The writing is fucking solid. It's the first movie where I saw, and I was like, this man is a genius. There's some things in him that can really his vision and the way he puts the story together actually kind of work. There were some flaws in that movie, but man, I gotta tell you, man, I absolutely liked the turn that movie did, and I thought it was fresh. I thought it was original. It was scary, but at the same time, it felt like a horror action movie where when the script flips, I was just mesmerized, and I was in it. I was in it.
Okay, so what did you think? So let's forget about for a second. Let's forget about Ron Zombie because that's what we think, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will say one more thing. I will say,
my bad. Yeah. He's
made some terrible movies, and none of his movies after Devil's Rejects to me have actually, flying that high. But yes, continue with your.
I just wanted to know what do you just think of a Munsters remake or changing that from because it was a show in the 60s to a movie, making a movie.
Yeah, I guess vaudeville,
everybody gets 6 seasons in a movie now, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The Munsters are, they're classic. They're Americana. They're one of the oldest, one of the oldest character features in sitcoms in American history. It's their history. But also, I really like the Munsters. Munsters was fun. The character, these actors definitely loved being in their characters. They chewed it. It was still funny to me. I remember watching Munsters on like channel 27, the local channel on a Saturday afternoon, in syndication. I think, and I think the way that like I would love to see like a Seth Rogen produced Munsters movie where like
Yes.
where like Fred Grimley is like a stand up or something. I don't know. Or you know what? I would love to see a 21 Jump Street / Munsters kind of reboot thing where like you turn the whole thing upside down and you turn it into like this fucking kind of like halfway Munsters horror movie / comedy by a scary movie. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing would be cool. I think there's a really cool way to spin this concept and be weird about it, but then also, hey, wholesome shit works. A really solid family picture out of the Munsters is I don't know, sorely needed, I think, too. And also like totally manageable, would totally work. Right?
I think you just hit that though. Like that's a family, like what were the words you usually use? Like a
family wholesome,
Yeah, wholesome. Like I don't think the aforementioned person is gonna bring that wholesomeness.
Right. It's difficult to think of the concept of a Munsters movie being directed by this man, but it's happening. And to just kind of go to the article a little bit, and I read a lot of it, and one thing that struck me as interesting is the fact that Rob Zombie has actually wanted to direct a Munsters movie his entire career. It's actually like listed as one of the things he wanted to get into the industry to do. He's been trying to get a Munsters movie done for 20 years, dude. 20 years in development, which, like, with that tenacity and will and probably a lot of rewrites, he figured out some way for the people who own the rights to the Munsters to let him make a movie about the Munsters. Like,
touché.
I don't like. I bet his idea, because it's the Munsters. Like, I don't envision the people who own the Munsters to want there to be a straight horror movie vibe, darkness, a la Devil's Rejects, to be made as a Munsters. I just don't believe it, personally. I am of mind that I think Rob Zombie probably really does like the Munsters, because I can imagine being a kid and watching the Munsters, and then
did you ever watch the Munsters today? Like
wanting to be this, you know what I mean? Like this right here, I can see that turning into this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I feel it. I feel that Rob Zombie probably totally fucking loved the Munsters. Probably wanted to be the kid. And just kind of ran with that idea. I see it. I totally see it. And there's a part of me that's like really into this too. Right?
Did you ever watch the 80s sitcom, the Munsters Today?
I think I have. I've definitely watched a cruise ship episode.
Okay.
I don't know why that sticks out in my mind. Yes. I definitely have.
Did you or did you not sort of have a crush on Lily Munster?
I mean, who didn't? I mean, that character is designed to catch your eye. She's supposed to be the odd man out. Of course, who didn't?
No, I'm talking about Lily's the in your picture, the second from the left.
The vampire. Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. She looks like a geisha. She totally looks like a geisha.
I always liked it because the actor who played that was Catwoman in like the old Batman series. She was in like Love Boat. She's kind of like an older lady. She's still around. She's still kicking it. She's living in the industry. She's doing good shit. But just saying, back then, she was hot.
Yeah. No, for sure. She was definitely hot. Yeah. And I totally, yes, absolutely. What's funny to me about this whole situation is that it appears that, like, at the very least, like, Rob Zombie is not going to do this picture and not going to throw some of his zest, right? Some of his sauce. I feel there's going to be some dark undertones here, for sure. I think. Have you ever seen? There's a couple really like cool dark comedies. There's one specifically with Anton Yelchin called Odd Thomas that was really good. And it was not really a comedy in like totally, but it was really funny. But it was also really dark and like really like supernatural and stuff like that. And I totally feel like that could be where we're going with this. Because like I can't imagine Rob Zombie doing a completely straight family film. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
like
no, I don't think it's gonna be like the most wholesome thing. It has to have a couple of little like of his nuances. Yeah,
absolutely. And I do believe we're going to see some of that nuance for sure.
Yelchin had those occasional like really good scary movies in his film thing. Like I remember because wasn't he in like Green Room also?
Oh, dude, Green Room, dude. Talk about movie about the industry, right? Dude, that movie ruled. I watched that alone. I think it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's like a masterclass in how to use a budget, right? And it had Jean-Luc Picard as the bad guy, and like I've never seen him in that kind of role. That was like super like Patrick Stewart was a bad guy in Green Room. It was so good, man. Dude, yeah, fantastic film.
I just remember he was in that one, and then he was in a movie called Burying My Ex. Those are just like the two, like these are the three horror movies that I know that he was in. And like Burying My Ex was like a really raunchy movie, but it had like two of the hottest girls. It had Ashley Greene from the Twilight series, and Alexandra Daddario from. I'm just gonna say,
I'm aware.
She's the girl of the True Detective series.
Yes, I'm aware.
If you don't know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yep. The scene heard around the world. Yes.
Google that.
Dog. Yes. No. Yeah. I vehemently like was upset when I heard the Anton Yelchin passed away, in such a crazy way that he went too. It was nuts. But like I remember like thinking like, man, I really liked his Chekhov. And like I remember like thinking like, oh, he's not going to be that character. He was a super solid character actor, for sure too, man.
I don't want to get off topic, but I just felt like I had to mention that.
No, for sure. But yeah, like back to the regular topic here. So let me ask, what kind of picture would you like to see from the man who made 2 Halloween movies, like 3 House of a Thousand Corpses?
I totally think he could like I think he could flip the script and do his passion project. I mean, we've seen it with many other directors who try to like completely change their genre and do a good job on it. I mean, like I like where would we be right now if Adam McKay didn't switch to drama?
Like, good point. Good point.
I'm just saying, like,
good point, man. Good
I mean,
point.
like every Oscar has had an Adam McKay movie, and like I know that's kind of like that is the best case scenario. Yeah. I'm just saying it's not like it hasn't been done before. It's like, you know, like Adam McKay was doing what like Boats and Hoes, like, you know what I mean? Like he wrote Boats and Hoes, Boats and Hoes. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Step Brothers.
I'm sorry. That's the thing about comedy, man. The thing about comedy is you could be the most wildly outlandish person, but if you just
and that says something about their like they are good at their art. It's not that they're good, like they're just good at their one thing. They're good at their art. They're good at filmmaking. Absolutely. And I think you know, like Rob Zombie, you're right. He's made some bad movies.
Absolutely.
But he's still a good. He still does a really good movie every once in a while. So like, I mean, we could sit here and, you know, talk crap about him, but like, I think he could flip the script, make a wholesome movie, have his little like we've been talking, have his little nuances in it, and I think it could be good. There's people who do it all the time, and we shouldn't be shocked by it. No,
and you hit everything on the head there, absolutely. And I don't think that there's ever going to be like a part of me that's like, oh no, a person shouldn't try to come out of their own, their own lane. But like, there's also like the fucking like the Hollywood insider guy inside of me who's like, yeah, it makes sense. He wants to change his genre so he can actually get jobs. That's probably part of it too, for sure. But like, everyone's got to feed a family. You got to do what you got to do to try to flip the script, change. Like, you know what's funny? You know who did a similar thing? The man who did Hostel. He what's his name again? I forget his name. He was the bear Jew in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. He was actually in the movie. But he did a kids movie. Eli Roth. He did a kids movie a couple years ago as well. Apparently, it was a pretty decent kids movie as well. But yeah, he did it. He did a kids movie, trying to break that mold as well. And I will say this about Rob Zombie movies: like his visual styling is really good. And he knows how to direct the scene. He knows his visuals. Like as a visual storyteller, he's really top notch. And it's really like his nuances and the things that he likes. His imagery. Albeit, from horror movies. Like his guy is all in. As far as a horror movie can go, he's gone. But his artistic way of actually showing a moving picture, it's really cool. And I think his downfall is the fact that he's written all of his projects. Devil's Rejects, I think, is a script that he worked on for fucking ever. I think it's probably the one he's worked on for the most of it, like for the most, like without having to actually make something make money. Because I can feel that script is so tight. It is so well written. I just feel like really a lot of work went into it. I just don't think like out of that movie, I don't think he's really good at writing. So I would really like to see him do a movie that he isn't writing. Like he just never does that.
I mean, you said this is something he's been working on for a pretty long time.
Good point. Good point.
So
You're right.
Could be just writing this like exceptional masterpiece.
Yeah,
like
he could be doing it. He could. But yeah, I'm excited to see at least his vision. Right. I'm gonna be there to watch the trailer and see exactly what this looks like. Whatever. Because whatever the cameras are rolling on, I guarantee you it's gonna look badass. I don't know what he's gonna do here, but he's gonna do a Frankenstein, a vampire lady, and a vampire grandpa, and a vampire baby, and then it's gonna be all in a Rob Zombie movie. I'm totally in for that, and I really hope he makes a good movie because, like, I gotta tell you, man, I think he's got it in him, but he hasn't like brought it out in a long time, for sure.
Yeah.
So for sure, I think we did it.
Yep.
Right on, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe. And if you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up button, just give us a like if you made it this far. We really appreciate it. We're just starting out. We're getting this ball rolling, and we really appreciate some engagement. It'll really help a lot.
What's your favorite Rob Zombie movie too? Like, maybe a movie we should review. Is there a specific one? Should we review The Devil's Rejects?
I love that movie. Yeah, we should do that for sure. All right.